Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is a brand new series on my hardcore Iron Man. I'm going to be doing a Endgame hardcore Iron Man series on Ironru. I have had this account for a fair few years now, but I took about a year and a half break off of this account, and I've got that itch to play Iron Man again, and I have some new goals and plans for this account and this series going forward. It's been a while since I've made any progression videos, so making another progression series and getting XP is going to be super fun. So let's get straight into this video to showcase my new goals, my plans, and some progression. Let's do it. I have two main goals. The first goal is Pvming for best in slot melee. Preferably doing all of this without dying on the account, obviously. But best in slot melee is going to require a lot of grinding, and I'm going to be focusing on a few main areas. These main areas are necks. I need to do an absolute ton of necks to get Torva to break down the Torva in order to make Trim Masterwork and a Trim Masterwork Spear. I have a decent amount of malevolent energy from when I done rots on this account ages ago, so I should be okay from rots. It's just a lot of necks that I need to do. I'm going to be doing the keys to the crossing grind on this account as well. I need a few Slayer levels, then I'll be able to kill Salowa Ux and Corrupted Scorpions, and do the Summoner method to get loads of keys to the crossing. This will also give me decent XP towards 120 Slayer. Then I'm going to have to go kill the Magister. Using all of the keys that I accumulate from my Slayer, I want to get a Kopesh, at least the main hand. Even if I run main hand Kopesh, offhand Drygor, that's going to be super strong. If I do grind enough keys, I'll make the offhand as well. The other thing I need to do linking into Slayer is kill creatures of the Lost Grove to get Cinderbane gloves. Cinderbanes obviously are best in slot anywhere that's poisonable, so these would be a really good pickup. Another absolute huge one for melee that isn't necessarily gear is ED2. I'm going to have to do ED2 to get the ability codexes for Greater Barge, Greater Fury, and Greater Flurry. If I want best in slot melee, Greater Barge, at least, is an absolute must. And if I'm going to do a ton of AFK Slayer, getting something like Greater Fury is going to make it so much nicer. Then finally, something that isn't necessarily PvM orientated, I need to get a couple more levels in Archaeology so I can go to the 115 Archaeology spot. Then I can AFK for the Spear tip to make my Trim Masterwork Tier 92 Spear. That would be huge upgrades for this account, and I want to focus on melee first, as I think it's probably the best all-rounded one to get before I move on to other styles. So that's the goal towards melee best in slot gear. The second goal is a simple one, 120 all skills. A lot of it will be done AFK while I'm editing videos together and stuff, like my fishing, my woodcutting, all of that stuff will all just be AFK. But there'll be a decent amount of active skills I'll have to train as well, and it'll be fun to showcase different methods and efficient ways of training skills on an Iron Man. My plan on the 120 all skills part of this progression series is to showcase efficient ways to train different skills, and maybe efficient unlocks to get, etc. along the way. And that is it for my goals on this account. Pretty simple, right? Really good melee gear from loads of different bosses and 120 all skills. So now, goals out the way. Let's start getting some progress on this account. There is a fair few things that I wanted to do before starting PvM just to make sure that I had enough supplies, etc. moving forward. One of the big ones was getting divine charges. I used a divine conversion relic for a while, got about 30,000 energy from that. Then I used a Divine-O-Matic in order to suck up some charges, and I made about 200 charges total. I also have a full charge pack alongside the 200 charges, so now I can kind of just relax and know that I have a decent amount of divine charge for PvM. Another thing I need to fully set up is my player-owned farms. I just got a Chinchompa from the Trapper, so I need to get a breeding pair of chins. This is my first one, so hopefully I can get another one and they'll be male and female. We can start breeding those. I also need dragons. I do have Zygomites that I'm breeding. So then if I can get dragons on top of that, I'll have good breeding pairs of everything. I missed out on a ton of player-owned farms just because I didn't play during its release and I was taking a break of this account. So I've got to set up my farm properly and everything like that. I managed to get my first ever mycelial webbing from a Zygamite, which then makes extreme invention potions. So I have those unlocked now, which is really cool. And selling these couple of Zygamites gives me enough to unlock breeding in medium pens. So now I can breed Zygamites in the breeding pen and my 2 medium pens and get a ton of Zygos to grow up for beans and for XP. After my huge break, it's been 24 weeks to check my miscellanea, but I think it caps out at like 100 days or something. So we are doing it in mahogany and normal wood. I want mahogany for mahogany planks, going for 120 construction. Normal wood, giving me all those maple logs for simple parts, is really useful as well. Managed to get so many logs. Look at that. That is lovely. So many planks, so many simple parts. Decent amount of birds' nests as well for seeds and whatever. Good overall. Happy with that. I'm running out of money, but I have so much money in alks. 7,000 onyx bolts to alk. So my plan is to make a auto alker to go alongside my 2 plank makers. And then I can have alks going 24/7 and planks being made 24/7. And that should be absolutely solid. So now we're going to alk these in the machine, but we need to build the machine first. You just have to build the default one and then upgrade it to the Alchemizer MK2. Alchemizer MK2 alks more and doesn't use any fire runes. So it's definitely worth upgrading it to the MK2 just so you alk more. And you have around just enough power to run 2 plank makers and the alchemizer. So I'm happy with that. I'll check back in, a couple of days or whatever, and I should have a decent amount of GP in there, which will then fund all of my merchant stuff that I want to buy, like Gifts of the Reaper and Livid Plants, alongside, anything else I might need. Next up, I had to go to the level 99 Archaeology spot in the Orvan dig site, because one of the artifacts here allows you to get the bait and switch relic, which is so good for Iron Men when fishing food. It is nuts. I needed to get a death mask, and obviously I got 3 of each of the other artifacts before I got my death mask. But we got it, and now we can go repair it and give it to Bob the Cat. There we go, Bob the Cat giving me the relic, and now we can get our bait and switch. Let's go activate it. This relic is just absolutely nuts. It fishes cooked food, and you don't even need the cooking level for the cooked food, and it still gives you 50% of the cooking XP. And it stacks with porters, so I'm going to go do blue blubber jellyfish with porters and have it automatically sent to my bank with cooked blue blubbers. I'm so stoked to use this relic. I'm just going to stock up on thousands of blue blubbers ready for PVM. I already have about 20,000 sourfish that I fished ages ago, but I want blue blubbers to go alongside them as it's really good food as well, so we're going to fish some of that now. Whenever I need to AFK on this account, it's probably going to be blue blubbers for a decent amount of time, alongside divine charges when I need them. Something I didn't have on this account was the Spirit Cape. As soon as you purchase the Spirit Cape, the effect is a passive. So it'll work even if you're wearing a Max Cape, even if you're wearing a Kiln Cape, you'll get the Spirit Cape passive. And what this does is it makes it cheaper for your familiars to cast special attacks. Whenever I'm doing Goals, Dungeon Reapers and stuff, I'm going to be using Steel Titans because I don't have Rippers yet. And then when I start using Rippers, they're also going to be cheaper for their specs. So it's 100% worth getting this as soon as you start using a familiar that you're going to use a special attack on. Get that passive. Speaking about Goals, Dungeon 2 Reapers, I did a Vindictor Reaper so I can get some more points towards Hydrixes. I need to make an alchemical Hydrix and make a Essence of Finality. But the thing is, I do not want to get rid of my Amulet of Souls, because I don't really fancy an alchemical Hydrix to upkeep for Slayer on the Essence of Finality when I'm just like AFKing. So I'm going to want an Amulet of Souls for that. 3 Hydrixes, 1 for a Souls, 1 for a Reaper, and 1 for the alchemical to make the EOF. Which means I need another around 350 Reaper points. So I'm going to have to do Reapers every single day for the next couple of weeks, and we'll have it. I hadn't upgraded my War's Retreat bonfire, so I cut some oak and willow logs, and I also had a ton of maple, yew, and magic from Kingdom and PVM, so I already had those ones to use. I have now upgraded my fire all the way except for Elder, and it gives me a 60-minute buff. I don't want to go chop 1,000 Elder logs, so a 60-minute buff is good enough for me. Something I definitely want to keep up is weeklies, monthlies, and dailies. Herbie Werby is probably my favorite weekly on my Iron Man because it's absolutely busted and gives you so much herb lore experience. I think it's at like 150k herb lore XP for me at 100, which is absurd. Other things that I want to do every day are things like farm runs. I want to grow tor stalls, fell stalks, stuff like that. So farm runs is definitely something that's been added to my daily list. I'm going to make myself a list of dailies and weeklies and monthlies, make it into a spreadsheet that you guys can download as well, and then you can customize it and add a couple more for yourselves. That will be on the second episode. Once I've got all of my dailies in order and I know what I'm going to be doing every day, I'll make that spreadsheet. For example, things like scarabs, right? The scarabs are so good Slayer XP. Need to do those every day as well. That's going to help a ton. Because I'm going to be doing a ton of skilling and everything like that, I also purchased a ton of auras. These auras are going to help moving forward. I'm going to have ones for fishing, ones for wood cutting, my green fingers aura for farm runs, all of that good stuff. We're going to have it now because I had a ton of loyalty points. I done my trapper again and I got another chinchompa. So now we need to see if it can be male and female. There we go. Easy luck with the chins. Now we have a breeding pair. Obviously not great traits, but they're going to breed. And I can start getting a chinchompa farm going. And we can grow them all up and everything like that for XP and beans again. Now we just need dragons. We've got our chins. We've got our zygomites. Dragons, here we come. And that is it for today's episode. Hopefully you're enjoying seeing a progress series back on my channel. I am loving playing the Iron Man again, and I'm so excited to make future progress videos on this account, especially with a lot of PVM in them on the hardcore. Should be really fun and a little bit spooky. Give the video a like if you did enjoy, so it shows that I'm doing well with this series and you want to see more in the future. Subscribe if you're new for loads of future content. And as always, until next time. See ya.